All right, welcome to the sixth episode of the
Let's go!
Donnie.
Podcast.
Donnie, you have to do that now also.
That's not gonna happen. It's the Let's Go podcast.
Welcome, guys. We're super excited. We got a very fun podcast and a big game to go over here with our guest. Before we start, I want to thank once again Evo Care Group. They are responsible for everything HSL, summer softball, spring softball, all of our kids leagues, our boys league, which we're hoping for better weather this Sunday. We have almost 95 boys signed up now. Dave, a couple of things with the boys. It's rough having the first 2 weeks rained out, but every week get rained out, we get more and more signups. So it seems like it's like all in God's plan here to keep on building this league. We have our girls soccer league starting this Sunday with over 40 girls signed up now. So we have a lot going on, and none of it would be possible without Evo Care Group. And we thank them very much. Let's get started.
All right, so let's get into it. So, a very controversial subject in the Hillcrest Softball League Legacy League this year was the dominance, the brutal dominance of Ariel Cohen as pitcher, and his team is very, very talented, and they were really abusing the competition. Let me just look up their run differential prior to yesterday. The Robins were 6-0, I believe, and their run differential, they had 81 runs scored and 6 runs allowed. But then they ran into big bad Dani Scheinman and the Rumble Ponies, and they lost yesterday, 12-10. Donnie.
Yeah, I mean, happy to be the first team to take down Ariel and the Robins. Listen, Ariel's a great pitcher. We'll give him his credit. He's gotten better over the years. I think it's just one of those instances where we've faced him a number of times at this point. We've been in the league since 2018 in some capacity, I think. Not always under the name Rumble Ponies, but we've been around. We always like our matchups with Ariel. We have a good time. They're a fun team to play, and they've always been close. I mean, give or take a couple 2 games where they might have mercied us. We've played them well. We played them tight. We knew we could play them well. We just kept saying the whole season, yeah, we see their run differential, but wait till they face the Rumble Ponies. That's all.
It's very interesting because Ariel, Miyavi, and Ariel have had some internal discussions about the move of the Robins from the Legacy to the Titan. And Ariel always said, "Well, let's see what happens with the Rumble Ponies. Let's see what happens with the Rumble Ponies." So he knew you guys were coming for him.
Right, I was gonna say that Ariel was always was hyping this up for a long time. Let us play the Rumble Ponies first. Now we can discuss if we should go into the Legacy to the Titan League or not. What do you think about the rain, Donnie? How do you think that played a role into things? Because I know Ariel has very strong thoughts on that matter.
So first of all, we appreciate the respect from Ariel, saying let's wait till we get to the Rumble Ponies. We definitely we don't take that lightly, so we appreciate that. Listen, the rain will always have an effect on baseball. I think rain has an effect on both teams. Ariel is particularly skilled at changing speeds, which in slow pitch softball might not be as much as some people think it is, but it is something. He is better than most pitchers in the league. It was definitely affected by the rain, for sure. Again, that being said, goes both ways. Both pitchers affected by the rain. It's not like he was walking the farm and he couldn't grip the ball. So we love Ariel. I'm sure the rain did have some effect. Prior to the rain getting a little heavier, he was knocking us down. I think we were 0 for 10 to start the game with our first 10 batters. But then again, eventually we also adjust to some of the different pitches, and we sat back on some pitches, and we got some good hits.
Who broke the ice for you guys? Who's better, number 11?
Scott Weissman was our first baseman of the day, a nice single up the middle. Got things going. I think we started to take a couple more pitches. We were getting fooled early by that early changeup from Ariel, but we sat back on it a little. We took some walks. We got some walks there. Once that started, also a little strange. The Robins change up their fielding a little bit. It seemed to change things a little too. They moved their Gold Glove shortstop into left field. That shortstop that everyone in the league is afraid of. They moved into the left field. Seemed to change things a little. Goldenberg, I think is his name.
Yes. Yeah.
I can never get that guy out. I'm voting that guy for MVP every time, whether he wins it or not. That kid is good.
He's an unbelievable talent.
I think we played them in 2019 in our second season, and I don't know, he must have been 12 years old. Not actually, but he was young. And we just kept hitting ground balls to third base where he was playing at the time. And the dude was like Nolan Arenado out there. Nothing got past him. cannon for an arm, and we just grounded out to third base. I don't know, maybe 15 times. Like, it was just crazy.
You know he has a brother too. I'm sure you've seen.
I know. We've played the brother too. Thankfully, the brother's in
Jakey.
Israel. It probably helped.
Jakey, right? Is Jakey his brother?
I
I
don't know
think
what his
so.
first name
One
is,
is
but,
Josh, one is Jake. I don't know which is which.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so shout out to them. They play us well. But yeah, they changed up the fielding. It seemed like it had a little bit of an effect.
They moved
Um,
the fielding before. At what point of the game?
After a couple runs came in, I mean, the Robins took, I think it was maybe a 5-0 lead, maybe a 6-0 lead. It was kind of
Oh,
funny
wow.
because you heard Ariel on the bench saying, by the way, this team has come back from 6-0 on us before, so let's not take it too lightly. We did hear that coming out of their bench. Again, appreciate the fear that we instill in some opponents apparently. But listen, we like to keep it light on our side of the field. We like to keep it, the morale always up. And I think it's our second 6+ run comeback of the year. We did that against you guys, against the Black Sox in a somewhat controversial ending, but some would say more controversial than others would say.
Yeah.
But
Well, we
we
might be able to say the Rumble Ponies take advantage of the conditions that are given to them, or utilize the conditions given to them, and they're ready
listen,
under any circumstances to do
we're
what they
ready to
need to get
go.
the dub.
We're ready to go. We're always ready. And listen, we take advantage when the team wears down a little. Like one of my teammates suggested, I think that's the first time Ariel's had to pitch past 7 innings. So the floodgates opening in the eighth might not be such a coincidence. It might have worn him down a little, and
So, what
that's
was
when
the
the
score
game.
until the eighth?
It might have been at some point. It was maybe 10-5, 10-6. I think the Robins were up by the eighth inning. And then we had a big when it was 10-8, we had a big grand slam from our shortstop Yehuda Gruen in the eighth inning to take a 12-10 lead. That was big. I got to give a shout out to Jojo Reich, our left fielder, who hit a big. He took a very tough at bat from Ariel. Came back from 0-2 to work a full count and then smacked the home run. That really started our scoring. That got us going. I think that was our first run of the game. And yeah, listen, some big hitters came up in some big spots. Michael Reinhardt had a nice home run. The ump
Yeah, I'm
may,
looking at
may or
the
may not have
stats from
compared him
this.
to Freddie Freeman.
What's that?
I said the ump may or may not have compared him to Freddie Freeman. He's got the beard. He's a first baseman. I mean, third baseman, but first base build. He's a lefty power hitter.
I'm looking
Lefty
at
third
the.
baseman. He fields lefty.
I think he fields righty. I think he hits lefty though. Yeah. We wouldn't put the lefty fielding third baseman out there.
3 home runs off of Ariel and a triple in this game.
Yeah. So the triple, we might be able to call that a softball triple. I'm not sure if it's officially a triple, but but the home runs were all pretty legit. They were pretty hit pretty far by our guys. Our guys came to bat.
Your guys came to bat. And your brother, you talk about being ready to go. He's got the baseball socks. What's his first name?
Yitzy's been with us since the beginning also, one of our original members. Yeah, listen, the Rumble Ponies, since the beginning, we've always had a couple of philosophies. One of our first mottos, we like to say a walk is a hit. We know the cliche is a walk is as good as a hit, so we change it to a walk is a hit. Take a walk. First of all, because it's softball, and if we mark it as a hit, most people won't know. We stopped that after a couple of years when the scoring got more official. Thank you to Avi. So obviously that's not the case anymore, but we still like to say it. Confuses the other team, throws them off a little, gets in their head. It's just fun. A walk is a hit, and then if you can't play well, just look good. That's always been our philosophy too. I think the first time we called ourselves the Rumble Ponies, we've been using a different minor league team name every season. That credit goes, I think, to Toby Bliscoe. I know his team used to do that before they were officially the Blue Wahoo, so we kind of took that on. I think we started as the Yard Goats in 2018. We've been the Iron Pigs. We've been the Trash Pandas. We've been everything out there, but we've been the Rumble Ponies. I think this is our third
What
time.
else? Give me. You're refreshing my memory. What else has there been?
The Yard Goats. I think the Disco Turkeys.
Disco Turkeys.
Disco Turkeys. Yeah.
The Honey Hunters. I think we've had a couple names out there.
Dani, you still have some time. The jersey order hasn't gone out yet for the summer season. You still have some time to come with the new
I know. Listen, when you told me we're getting jerseys, we all said we got to go back to the Rumble Ponies. That was the first time we were a decent team. That was the first time we had a lot of fun with it. And one of the first things we did when we were the Rumble Ponies, we found on the Rumble Ponies team shop, which apparently is a thing. They were selling a Rumble Pony hat for $10, so the whole team got them, and we all actually had the Rumble Pony hats that year. So we've always thought, the better you look, the better you play. So Yitzy comes out there in his high socks, and he actually hits from both sides of the plate, which is rare. People think he's joking when he does it, but he's actually pretty
And he's a
solid at
backup
it. I'm not
pitcher.
really
No,
sure.
doesn't he pitch when you're not there?
He pitches once in a while. Sometimes that's my other brother comes in as a sub, but yeah, he could
Who's
do it
your
all. He
other
plays
brother? I
all
don't
levels.
know if
Yeah.
I've met him.
Yeah.
My youngest brother, Beezy, he's not officially on the team, obviously. He's just one of our backup subs. He's like 9 years younger than me, so I think he's 20 at this
Who was
point.
pitching that
So
game against Burger Hicks, the controversial Peck 3 game?
yeah, so it started out my youngest brother, Beezy, came in to pitch. Yitzi and I both were not there that game, actually. So
Okay,
he
so the
pitched.
youngest brother pitched that game.
I think they changed it up a few times. I don't think that was on the pitchers so much. I'll give all our pitchers a pass for that one. But
Yeah, Dave,
listen,
We never spoke to about this Peck 3 game to the opposing captain. By the way, with all the Peck 3, drama and controversy that we dealt with Yona Berger and those guys, we never spoke to the opposing captain. See how he feels about taking a loss to guys who are hitting home runs when they're at batting 200 the rest of the season or whatever it is.
well, I'll be honest. Nobody on our team had an issue with it. I mean, we did not know the rules otherwise. We spoke about the rules pregame, and everyone said that was a home run. Obviously it helped us in the first game against the Black Sox. So
That's true.
not much complaining could come from us. Our team was happy to be able to hit a couple of those too, and everyone just kind of chalked it up as a weird game. Is what it is.
Yeah. So my question for you is: so you guys have knocked off the Robins. You're looking towards the playoffs. Let me pull up the standings.
No, well, also Dave, they still have the 1 seed. By the way, they can still get the 1 seed. You know that. If the Rumble Ponies win this
Yes,
week
I
and the
think that's in
Robins
play.
lose, if the Rumble Ponies win and the Robins lose, the Rumble Ponies get the bye and they have the 1 seed.
I think the Crew still has a shot because I think they beat us in week
Who,
one, and I
who
think
do
we're
you
tied
guys
with
play
them
the
right
Crew
now.
yet?
Yeah, we
Did
played
you
them in
guys
week
play the
one.
Crew
They
yet?
beat us. They beat us 5-1.
Oh, so you need the Crew and the Rumble and the Robins to lose, and you need to win in order to.
Correct. Listen, like I said,
And the,
we're happy to be winning. We're happy to be having a good season. It's one of our better seasons in the league. 1 seed, 2 seed. We want to take Ariel down in the playoffs again. That's all.
So
We're
you
happy
think?
to.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you. You feel confident that you could beat them with dry conditions?
Listen, I love Ariel. We appreciate everything he's always done for the league. He was a great former commissioner and a great president. But yeah, we'll take him down.
still its
We don't
president,
care about the
yeah,
weather.
still a great president. Yeah.
I got a kick
Still a
out of
great president.
Yigal Ben Hayim was throwing a little shade at him in the captain's chat. He said the Reisenbag didn't help you yesterday.
I tried to use the rosin bag. I can't figure out rosin. I'm not that official of a pitcher. It didn't help me much.
What do you mean you can't figure it out? Doesn't it just keep your hands dry?
I didn't feel like it helped at all. I don't know. Maybe you got to mix it with suntan lotion. I don't know what's going on over there. Maybe some pine tar. I don't know. Listen, the Robins, we appreciate how seriously they take the league. We like to get in on the Let's Go Robin chants. We tried wearing red against them last year. We have a good time with Ariel and the Robins. We like to play them. They like to play
Avi,
us,
have
I
you ever
think.
used
What
Ryzen?
what do you? No, I never. I don't think anybody. I mean, I don't know any softball pitchers that. I get if it helps Ariel, it helps Ariel. I don't know of anyone that's used rosin. What do you think on the Robins to the Titan League controversy or argument? Where are you on that? What do you think? Because it sounds like you love
Listen,
the opportunity to play the Robins.
we do. I would be very sad if Ariel and the Robins moves to the Titan League. I know they're killing the league, but like we said, we were just waiting to play them all year. We like having them in the league. Be happy for them to stay. Obviously, Ariel seems to be a cut above the rest of the pitchers in this league. I'll give him that. So if that means Titan League to everyone else, I won't. We're good with whatever. We're happy to have him in the league. We're happy if he wants to take his talents on to the next level. Whatever works for Ariel. But we do like playing them. We do like having them in the league. It's always a good time. But kudos to you guys. The league has been great this year. The guys have been fun. Every team's been pretty well matched in our games for the most part.
A lot of nice guys too. Avi brought in a lot of nice guys.
A lot of nice guys. I have no idea where you find these guys, where these guys found the league. Played some guys from Brooklyn. I
I don't
said, how
either,
do you
to
guys
be
find
honest.
this
I
league?
really
They
don't
said,
either.
I don't know. We just did. Yeah. But
It's just a matter
that's
of putting the
it's
flyer
good.
in all these random WhatsApp chats and talking to people, and they talk to more people, and then before you know it, you got 18 teams in the spring league. Pretty crazy how it
Well,
all
we
came
we
together.
appreciate it. The league's been good.
So it's
The league
funny.
has
It's
been
funny
good.
actually because we've only seen so far, or at least people we've interacted with on the podcast, everyone's been get the Robins out, get the Robins out, get the Robins out. It's actually refreshing now to have a legacy team captain that actually would be sad if the Robins and Ariel Cohen go to the title league next year. It's good to have a different perspective.
I don't want to start controversy with the other captains either. I don't want to be the guy that kept Ariel in the league when everyone else wanted it out.
No, we understand. It's just refreshing to have that perspective as well. It's always good to have both perspectives here.
The Rebel Ponies relish the opportunity to play the Robins. We'll be happy to do it, rain or shine. Rain or shine.
So, you said you've been enjoying the revamped HSL. Any feedback you have, opportunities for growth, criticisms?
No, I mean, we really appreciate it this year. We like how the competition has leveled out a little more. As much fun as we haven't exactly been, the Bombers light, let's say. So it's nice to have a little more level playing field. We do enjoy that, and it's been good. The umps have been pretty good for the most part, mostly consistent. We've had some good umpires the last couple of weeks. And the fields, other than with the exception of PEC 3, which nobody really knew the rules at, and we know that wasn't anyone's fault. The fields have been great. Everything's been run pretty smoothly. If I could make a pitch for the one playoff game a week, that's the only pitch I would make going forward. I know the doubleheader playoff games have been tough in past years for people, so if we could avoid that, let's do it.
That's going to be the goal. I mean, a lot of the captains seem to have trouble fielding teams on Memorial Day. I actually think you were able to play on Memorial Day, but most captains...
We're good. Rain or shine, once again, we're good.
So the goal, if we have no more rain, there definitely will not be doubleheaders. So that's goal number one. Pray for no rain, and we won't have any doubleheaders. It's as simple as that. And then rain that comes, we'll see what happens.
So, Dani, also in this podcast, if we have the time, we try to get to know the people a little bit, their background, where they're from, how they found themselves to the HSL. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Woodmere. I grew up in the Five Towns. I live in Queens now. I previously lived in Washington Heights. In the HSL. So I subbed a couple times. Some of my friends had some teams in the league, and I think around 2018 we decided to make our own team. Zev Miller and I, and he's our unofficial co-captain. Zev Miller and myself and my brother Yitzi and Aaron Warso, another member of our team, I think are the 4 original members at this point who were there since the first season, decided to make our own team, and we've been there every spring and summer since, I think. With the exception, I did not play during the COVID season, but we still had a team. And we've had a team ever since. And most of our guys at this point, I think, live in Queens. A couple from other places, a couple from Washington Heights. These people are originally from the Five Towns, but we've all sort of been friends in one way or another from different facets of life. And, we've kind of had a rotating door with a lot of players on our team. Some guys have been there for some spring, some guys for some summer. Most of the guys have been on this squad at some point before and are returning. It's been a good run. We enjoy being in the league. We enjoy the competition. And it's definitely been fun. We like to see where the league is going.
Where did you go to high school in the Five Towns?
I went to DRS for high school. I went to Shalvim for 2 years after that. Then I attended YU and then Fordham Law School. And
then you moved to Kew Garden Hills?
I moved to Kew Garden Hills. I think at this point I've been there 4 years. So I didn't realize Avi was my neighbor until very recently.
Oh, are you in the Oasis?
No, not that close, but same neighborhood.
It's funny because doing this whole HSL thing, I've come to realize that there's like a million people who I've been talking to on the phone who literally live like 5 houses down from me. Like Shiro Zlimsky, plays in HSL, our director of the youth boys and basketball, and Jack Ross and the Bombers. All these guys live like literally 3 doors down from me. It's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I'm talking to them like I don't know, like all the time, and then like I find out they're literally 3 doors down from me.
There's something strange about seeing people on the baseball field. Like I've played probably a dozen games against Dani, spoke to him here and there on the field before the game, after the game. But in my mind, these players sort of only exist like on softball fields, and then they just go somewhere. Never really think about it. So it's been a little surreal talking to people and then having them on the podcast that they actually have actual lives outside of the Hillcrest Softball League.
Yeah, I mean the amount of people saved in my contacts as first name, last name, softball. It's probably too many, including yourself, David. But
how do you have me saved?
I think David Gottlieb softball.
I'm glad
not to be confused with the other David Gottliebs.
That's really funny. That's very funny. How do you have Avi saved?
Avi Kamish Edelman.
Love that.
That's good.
You know, you
That's
should know, by
good.
the way, that's a lot of people have me saved now. It's either Avi Kamish Edelman or it's the podcast Avi Let's Go Edelman. So a lot of the I have a new
Yeah,
middle name that I never knew I had. It's
I
great.
don't know.
I love it.
The only time I've seen that is on your name on this chat right now. I don't know that I buy that people
No,
have you
Let's
saved
Go
as that.
is a big Let's Go is a term that I coined. Actually, a lot of it in camp when I was in Romu for many years, but also a lot in the MSL, which is a sports league in Muncie that I play on a team there. And after like every big out, I'll go give that big "Let's go!" and like guys will like get riled up from it. Guys on my team love it. Guys on the other team used to get so upset. So like it was a win-win because I'm not doing it to stuff the other team, but like I'm doing it because I'm pumped. But if it's gonna get in their head anyways, then great. So like I developed sort of like a nickname of my wife got me for before my wedding. She got me like a varsity jacket. Said like "Let's go" down the right sleeve.
I've never seen you wear that, Avi. When are you gonna bust it out?
I don't know. It's in the closet here. We still have it.
That's
I
amazing.
wear it.
Um,
Don't call me out here. I'm saying obviously my wife watches every single podcast. Don't like she watches and be like, Avi, why don't you want to Let's Go?
it's funny. My wife wants
varsity?"
to know why I'm the only one who wears the jersey in the podcast.
Listen, we need a character. We need a character to represent the look of the HSL. We can't just have everyone in there, like you said, right? Like people only see Double Gottlieb in his jersey. If all of us were in dress clothes, it would be too hard to watch. They can't imagine what we look like not in our baseball stuff. So we need at least one representative to be wearing baseball clothing on the pod. Otherwise, how are they gonna be able to watch?
If I was working from home, I would have put the jersey on for you guys. Don't worry. Thought we got frozen
Looks like
here.
Dave. Yeah, it looks like Dave froze a little bit. All right, so we could is he coming back? It's funny because if you're gonna watch this podcast back, Dave, you're back with us here.
I'm back
If you're
with us.
gonna when you're watching this podcast, it's funny because when you're watching this podcast, Donnie, the viewer doesn't see these glitches. Like to the viewer, it's all clear. So like
Got
for
it.
us, it's like we're looking like, oh no, what's going on? But from the viewer, it's like, why are they like waiting around looking? Like they're all right there in front of
Got
me.
it.
Like
We
Barney
were
is.
waiting for a glitch. We were waiting for a glitch.
Yeah, but David, I think David's back with us. Welcome
So
back.
yeah, I am. So Donnie, I'm very curious about something because there was, Avi has a very strong approach to the rain. He wants to play pretty much unless it's a torrential downpour. I actually support that. Yeah, I support that for the most part because people don't realize how challenging rescheduling is, and people also don't realize they're like, oh, let's just call it a rain day, and then all of a sudden the schedule's into late June, early July. The Shul League is starting, so on and so forth. Other, people going upstate. So a day like yesterday, it's a little controversial, and I was happy to see on the captain's chat afterwards. Some people were saying that they really appreciated it. So I was curious what your feelings were about it and the kind of path that you want the league to take going forward with these issues.
It's a good question. A little mixed. I definitely woke up complaining that we were still playing, but that could have been due to the waking up and not wanting to go out in the rain. It could go both ways. I know in the past it has hurt us. We have played through rain and started pretty significant rain, and just it was impossible to pitch, and we lost the game big time like that. Might even have been against the Black Sox, I think, a memorable one where it was a pretty big downpour. Then again, to an extent, it probably helped us yesterday and hurt the Robins a little bit, which, we're happy to take that. I will say yesterday, it was not as bad as I thought, the rain, and playing in it was probably the right decision. Better than having to reschedule. We did have our team ready to go, and that was good. I think obviously it's always hard to predict what the rain will be and how bad it will be. I think within reason, I think it's always good to try and get the game in. Play with a little bit of the elements. Obviously, if it would have gotten any more significant than it was, I think we probably would have had to call the game at some point,
Umpires
which
definitely
neither
were
team would have
informed
loved.
that if it ever got to the point of not playable, they could call the game. Just to give us a little, what do you call it after you're done writing a letter and the bottom? What's it called?
Postscript?
Postscript.
Yeah, but what's the letters?
PS.
Yes.
PS. To give a little, I guess a PS like on this little topic. at least for the Legacy League, a big reason that went into trying to get the 8 a.m. games in, which by the way we canceled 10 o'clock because of the continuous rain and the field conditions, is that because of Memorial Day, knowing there are a few teams that are very adamant that they can't play Memorial Day, we're now able to finish up the regular season this coming week because the teams that didn't play 10 are playing doubleheaders this week. So we now have a lot more flexibility to work with. If we would have canceled this week, we would have then not be able to start playoffs for an extra 2 weeks because Memorial Day and the following week would start off the regular season. So we wouldn't have been able to start playoffs till like June 2nd, or I think even the 9th. So by doing this, it avoids the hated doubleheader, at least for now, which I think the league appreciates. And it also avoids the contradiction with either the Shul League or the summer or guys going away. So I do think that was a very big, we don't, as much as I love for teams to play in the rain, I'm not, at the HSL, we're not like, lolly, it's like, oh yeah, go play in the rain. Like, who cares? Like, everything is done with a calculation. And it made a lot of sense if the rain is not too bad to try to get at least the 8 o'clock games in so we could really finish the season on time. And now we have some weeks to work with to A, avoid Memorial Day, and B, to avoid the doubleheader that we didn't want to.
So, yeah, that's very smart on your part, Avi. And people don't realize the type of thinking you're often putting into the big picture down the road. Even Ariel was impressed, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah, that was great. I was looking forward to the Ariel, and obviously Ariel wasn't too happy because of the rain, and he obviously feels it affected his pitching, and which it might have, and his field and losing. But at the end of the phone call, I explained to Ariel, what into it. He's like, oh, you know what? It's a pretty good point. It was,
so let's go. We have a few minutes left, if you don't mind, Donnie. Let's just go through the other results from the Legacy yesterday and just talk about the results and what it might look like for the playoffs. So I see the Crew beat the Hippos 11-4. The Crew is a very strong team, but also a very passionate bunch. My boys, the Gell brothers. I'm in a politics chat with them. That's how they became my boys. But they run a tight ship over there, and they've got some really good players.
Yeah, so we played the Crew week 1, so we'll chalk that up to we were rusty. I'll give them their credit. I think we lost. I think that one was 5-2. I think that's that's the only time we've scored. I think less than 8 or 9 runs this season.
Jacob Gelb's a good pitcher.
He definitely pitched well. First game of the season. We're feeling out the new team. They looked solid. They looked like a solid fielding team. Good pitcher. It was hard to get too many hits off them. We look forward to the second crack at it. Hopefully we can see him again.
Yeah, it will be. It will be interesting to see. It's also me and Avi been doing all these podcasts, talking to people more, myself at least, and it's also you get to know the personalities behind it, and it adds a level of intrigue, to see who's going to come out on top in the playoffs.
Yes. Also in the regular season, that's the 3 teams: the Crew, the Rumble Ponies, and the Robins are all chasing the 1 seed right now.
Who's playing? Who are the Robins playing this week? They have a doubleheader?
No, they have a single game. They're playing. I think they're playing a hard team. I think they're playing. I can pull that up. Let me check.
Who are
you guys playing, Donnie?
We are playing the Hippos. I think Brian Cohen. We have yet to play them this year. Always fun to play them as well.
Yeah. Brian is a great guy.
Brian also.
What?
No, I think we were going to say the same thing. He definitely benefited tremendously from the, what are they? What's the record now? 4-3, I think, right? Or 3-4?
3-4. I was actually going to say, Avi, that Brian also did the podcast from his car.
Oh, right.
The Sons of Anarchy, Yona Berger Sons of Anarchy beat the Pandas 12-3. The Pandas, I don't know, they seem to have a mixed bag. Some games they do really well. Other games they seem a little bit more challenging for them.
What's their record now?
3-4 also. But some of the games have been a little bit lopsided. I'm not sure why. I wouldn't have thought they would lose. I wouldn't have thought they'd lose 12-3 to Berger Hicks.
Listen, we view Berger Hicks as a monstrosity of a team, so I'm not surprised at all to see that score.
Yeah, why do you?
Isn't that the team that took us 28-13 in Peck?
That's the Peck 3 team.
Yeah. They're the Bronx Bombers of the HSL, the Murderers Row.
Yeah, they put up the most runs by far, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And the
it's just a little skewed, but to us that's Murderers Row right there.
That's Murderers Row. So if the Crew and Avi, you found the schedule?
Yeah, so the Crew are playing the Pandas. Crew versus Pandas, Robins versus Schwartz Bros Media, and we got Rumble Ponies versus Hippos. It's gonna be interesting. because every single team this week is playing for something, which is amazing, by the way. To have 10 teams in a league, and the final week you have every single team playing for something, whether it's the top 3 teams playing for the 1 seed or the bottom 7 playing for a playoff spot. I think it worked out that the 6 seed, the 6 and 7, the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are battling out for the last 2 seeds.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty
That's
sure.
remarkable.
I think 1 through 5 clinched, but everyone's playing for seeding of some sort, and 6 through 10 is playing for the last spot. Even
what more could you ask for out of a league than every team be fighting for a playoff spot on the last week?
right, or positioning. Yeah.
And thankfully, the weather report for this Sunday is it's early, and as Ariel always tells us, it means nothing this far out. But we're showing partly cloudy and 74 degrees. So we're out of time. Any closing thoughts for us, Mr. Dani or Mr. Avi?
I'll give a shout out to the last couple guys on my squad. I don't want anyone to feel left out. You know, Shimmy
Sure.
Savitsky, we've won every game where he's played. He's only been there a couple times, but we have yet to lose with him on the team.
Where does he
Joey
play?
Katz, Shimmy Savitsky, we call him I'm coined a new name for him yesterday, Shimmy Hoover Savitsky, because was vacuuming balls there all around the field, third base, first base. He's all over the place. We have Joey Katz, a couple of 3-hit games for us this year. He would have had multiple player of the game awards, but we have a team rule that we only give 1 per person for the year. So he did not, but he would have. Sammy Melman, a great outfielder for us. Pizzala Rosenwasser, longtime member of the team. Just wanted to make sure we got everyone in there. I think that's everyone on the squad. But
You didn't mention Mr. Reinhardt, who hit a game-winning home run off of us.
we talked about Mr. Reinhardt, Freddie Freeman. He had a home run
Oh,
yesterday
he's
off
Freddie
Ariel.
Freeman.
He seems to be tagging. He's tagging every pitcher in the league this year. What can we say? You know.
And what
just
about
one of the
Reich?
many.
You mentioned Jay Reich.
Yeah, earlier.
Jojo Reich had a big home run, came up
Oh,
yesterday.
so he's OBJ. So why do you call him OBJ?
We like these little inside jokes. We don't really call him that, but he's more of a shortstop turned left fielder this year. So he's still working on the mechanics of the deep fly balls. He had a couple of basket catches last week against his chest. I don't really think that's how you catch a softball, but hey, he's gotten the out every time, so I can't really complain.
So you're throwing a little shade with the OBJ.
We like shade over at the Rumble Ponies. We like shade. Shade's good.
Sounds like
Shade to the Robins, shade to ourselves. We dish it everywhere.
Before we go, I don't know if I'm allowed to publicly say this, but Donnie, didn't you you and Joey, didn't you guys help out a little bit with the HSL when we were first starting up? Wasn't there some giveaway stuff that you guys helped out
It's true.
with?
We did donate a pair of Nets tickets to the giveaway. I'm not sure
And
if
Mets
that
tickets.
was
I don't know if Joey told you about that, but also Mets tickets.
that I did not know about.
These guys were HSL supporters, at least since we took it over this year from day one. They helped build the following, build the status. We really appreciate.
We're happy
Donnie,
to help out. I can't say the Nets tickets were such a prize for whoever won them. It was a rough year, so we weren't holding on to those too tightly. Let's just say, but hopefully in the future, that's
Listen, it got
something.
us a solid 40 to 50 more WhatsApp followers on our status, so it definitely did the job.
Happy to
Donnie,
be in
do
the
you
league.
follow the HSL status?
Of course, I follow the HSL status. I follow your status, which confuses me sometimes. But I mean, we follow all the good statuses.
Let me know what confuses you, but not on the podcast. We're trying to keep it neutral here.
Like I said, shade goes everywhere.
I have a question for you. Has your life improved since you started following the HSL status?
Has my life improved? I'm sure in certain ways, yes. I'm sure they might be harder to see so blatantly. I enjoy it, that's for sure. So the enjoyment I get from following the status definitely has improved.
Well, the correct answer was that your life is immeasurably greater.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to blow it up too hard because then people are going to say, "Oh, this guy's not real. I can't follow the league." Keep it real. Keep it real. I enjoy following the status. It's a good time. It's fun to see. It's fun to see your stats and players of the game up there. It's good stuff.
Yeah. We have to still do players of the game for this week. I got to get that. I had a very, very hectic day yesterday, but I'll get to that this week.
Waiting with bated breath.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Donnie. Hopefully we'll do this again. Maybe there'll be a championship game between you and the Robins, and we'll do a preview or something like that. We'll see. It's going to be the podcast will get more interesting as we get into the playoffs and hopefully do some pairings of who's facing each other and get the inside scoop.
Looking forward. We hope we see them again. And thanks, guys, for the time. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Thanks,
Take
Donnie.
care.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.